Welcome to The Secret Case, where we explore the most intriguing and chilling stories in crime. Today, we delve into the enigmatic case of the Zodiac Killer, a serial killer who terrorized California in the 1960s and 1970s. Despite exhaustive investigations and public interest, his identity remains a mystery to this day. Prepare for a journey through time as we examine the crimes, theories, and culture surrounding this infamous criminal. If you enjoy true crime and unsolved mysteries content, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit the bell to make sure you don't miss any of our videos. The Zodiac Killer is known for a series of murders that began in 1968. His first documented attack took place in December 1968 in a remote area near Vallejo, California. The first victim was 17-year-old Betty Lou Jensen and her boyfriend, 18-year-old David Faraday. The couple was ambushed in their car and shot to death. The details of the crime were brutal, and the bodies were found by police shortly afterward. This attack marked the beginning of a series of murders. Just a few months later, in July 1969, the killer struck again, this time at Lake Berryessa, where Darlene Ferrin and Michael Mageau were enjoying a summer day. The Zodiac approached them wearing an executioner's mask and, after threatening them, shot them both. Although Darlene died, Michael managed to survive and provide a description of the attacker. The brutality of these murders shocked the nation. Throughout these attacks, the Zodiac Killer not only killed, he also took the time to send letters to local newspapers, taunting the authorities and challenging the police to catch him. This turned the crimes into a media spectacle. The letters sent by the Zodiac Killer are a key part of his story. In July 1969, he sent his first letter to the San Francisco Chronicle, describing his crimes and boasting of his ability to evade the police. He accompanied his letter with a 408-character cipher that challenged readers to decipher it. After several days, a pair of teachers, Dale Halligman and Nancy Slover, managed to decipher the message, which contained threats and references to his crimes. This first success caught the attention of the media and the public, and the figure of the Zodiac Killer became an urban legend. As time went on, the killer continued to send letters to newspapers, each time more elaborate and challenging. In one of them, he included fragments of his personal life and philosophy, further increasing the fear and fascination he generated. Some of his messages were filled with strange symbols and references that challenged both the police and the citizens to solve the puzzle he himself had created. Francisco, where he murdered Cecilia Shepard and Brian Hartnell. During this attack, the Zodiac approached the couple with a knife and told them he was a police officer. He asked them to come to his vehicle, where he showed them a gun and threatened them. This attack was especially brutal and became the model for the horror the Zodiac was capable of inflicting. The media coverage of these crimes caused widespread panic in the California population. People became afraid to leave their homes, and schools implemented safety protocols. Local authorities were overwhelmed by public pressure to solve the case and arrest the killer. The situation became even more tense when in April 1970, the Zodiac sent another letter, this time claiming to have murdered a young woman on a train and challenging the police to catch him. As the letters continued to arrive, the story of the Zodiac Killer began to capture the attention of not only the media, but also the general public, becoming a social phenomenon. In many ways, the Zodiac became a symbol of crime in the United States, an enigma that represented the fear and uncertainty in the society of those years. Throughout the 1960s, police devoted enormous resources to investigating the Zodiac Killer. However, despite their efforts, the case became a maze of clues and false suspects. One of the prime suspects was Arthur Lee Allen, a man who fit the profile of the killer, but despite circumstantial evidence, enough evidence was never presented to formally charge him. The case became even more complicated and other theories involving different individuals emerged. Some theories even implicated public figures, adding further mystery to the case. For decades, the lack of answers led the media to keep interest in the Zodiac alive, and the case became one of the most famous in American crime history. The last confirmed letter from the Zodiac was received in 1971. After that, the killer mysteriously disappeared, leaving police and the public with more questions than answers. The lack of an arrest and a resolution led to speculation and the belief that the Zodiac had moved on with his life, perhaps changing his identity and leaving his past behind. The legacy of the Zodiac Killer has endured throughout the decades, becoming a subject of fascination in popular culture. From books and documentaries to movies and TV shows, the case has captured the imagination of many. Interest in the Zodiac has remained alive in part due to his ability to manipulate the media and his notoriety as an enigmatic and calculating criminal. Even today, more than 50 years after his crimes, the mystery of the Zodiac Killer's identity remains unsolved. The investigation has been reopened several times, and in 2020, a group of amateur investigators managed to crack one of the codes the killer had sent. While some believe this could bring us closer to the truth, others maintain that the Zodiac will never be identified. Her story has served as a chilling reminder of how a single individual can spread fear throughout a community and how the search for truth can be a never-ending journey. For those seeking answers, the Zodiac case remains an unsolved mystery, a testament to the complexity of crime and human nature. Over the years, the Zodiac Killer case has spawned a number of theories and myths that have captured the attention of criminologists, journalists, and the general public. One of the most persistent myths is that the Zodiac was never actually a serial killer, but that his crimes were the result of a group of people. This theory suggests that the name Zodiac was used as a pseudonym to cover up a series of murders that were actually perpetrated by several individuals. Additionally, some investigators have theorized that the Zodiac Killer may have been a war veteran, which could explain his knowledge of attack tactics and ability to evade capture. The military connection has led some to speculate that the killer may have been trained in survival and combat techniques, allowing him to operate effectively in the areas where the crimes took place. Over the years, several suspects have been put forward, including Kenneth Bianchi, who was identified as one of the Hillside Strangler killers in the 1970s. Although he has been arrested, it has not been confirmed whether he is linked to the Zodiac, but his name has been mentioned on multiple occasions in connection with the case. One of the most fascinating aspects of the Zodiac Killer is the way his crimes have been depicted in the media. Films such as Zodiac, directed by David Fincher, and documentaries have kept the case interesting, presenting new theories and analysis of the evidence. These depictions not only inform the public, but also feed into the mythology of the killer, making him an icon of criminal culture. In recent years, a new wave of investigations has been conducted, using advanced technologies such as DNA analysis and modern forensic science. These advances offer hope that the killer may finally be identified. In 2021, a group of independent investigators announced that they had identified a possible suspect based on DNA recovered from the Zodiac letters. However, this claim is still under investigation, and the case remains an ever-evolving puzzle. The fascination with the Zodiac Killer shows no signs of abating. The combination of his ability to manipulate the media, his ability to evade capture, and his legacy in popular culture continue to fuel the mystery. Some believe the Zodiac was never caught because he always knew how to elude authorities, and his story could be a reminder that evil may be closer than we think. The story of the Zodiac Killer is a reminder that violence can arise in the most unexpected places and that mystery often surrounds the most notorious criminals. If you've been intrigued by this story, don't forget to give the video a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel The Secret Case and hit the bell to stay up to date with more chilling and fascinating stories from the world of crime. Leave us your comments on what you think about this case and what other topics you'd like us to explore. Thanks for joining us and see you next time.